How's everything going, Brollies? So I have an upcoming PC build for our new desk setup that will feature some of DeepCool's latest products, and I figured why not start with a dedicated unboxing and overview of the DeepCool CK560, a chassis that pretty much checks all my boxes, not only in terms of aesthetics with a clean design language, but in terms of overall features as well. It features easy to remove magnetic front panel, front and bottom dust filters. It has an adjustable GPU support, comes with 4 case fans out of the box, and most importantly, at least for my personal preference, it features a front panel USB Type-C port. Not to mention the ample amount of cable management space. With that being said, let's get into it. Alright, so while I am unboxing the DeepCool CK560, let me pop the complete specifications on the screen so that we can get that out of the way. And essentially, what's important here is that it supports motherboards from eATX down to Mini ITX, and it supports 175mm CPU coolers and up to 380mm graphics cards. Now, the packaging is pretty standard with a couple of styrofoam and plastic protection. Here in front, we have the tempered glass side panel that is held by a couple of captive screws. Flipping it in front, we have a very interesting design for the front panel with cross ventilation, and what I like about this is that it is super easy to remove, held only by a couple of magnets. Now, removing the metal front panel reveals the front dust filter, which is equally easy to remove by simply pushing the locking clip here on top. The filter is super fine, which should prevent not only dust, but other unwanted debris from your components. Additionally, we also have some small ventilation on the sides. Here in front, we also have the included and pre-installed case fans. These are addressable RGB fans with model name DF12025. Unfortunately, I cannot find any info when it comes to its specifications like rated RPM and airflow. Now, turning it at the back side, we have a solid metal side panel, also held by a couple of captive screws. Removing it reveals the back internals, including a small RGB controller that, as per inspection, is connected to a SATA power connector, the front panel LED button, and the case fans, which apparently uses JST connectors rather than the typical 5V 3-pin ARGB connector. But don't worry, as there's an included JST to 3-pin ARGB cable adapter. We also have here the front panel cables that includes the USB Type-C connector, the adjustment for the graphics card support, a couple of mounting points for 2.5-inch SSDs, and a drive bay with a couple of 2 less HDD trays that can support 2 3.5-inch hard drives. So basically, we have a total of 4 storage mounting points. In terms of cable management space, we have an ample amount here at the back with at least 2.2 cm of space, and we also have a good amount of real estate for the power supply, supporting power supply with length up to 160mm. You can also adjust the hard drive bay for more cable management space or remove it entirely if you don't need it. Speaking of the hard drive bay, inside it we have the plastic that houses the rest of the accessories, including the user manual. Now, here at the back, we have the I/O cutout, the rear fan mount that supports up to 140mm case fan like the one included here. We also have the reusable PCIe covers, more ventilation, and the cutout for the power supply. Now, going back in front, removing the side panel reveals the rest of the internals, and as you can tell, like the back side, it is color black and perfectly complements the white external. Here we have the power supply shroud with the cutout in front, providing enough space for a radiator. We also have a couple of cable routing channels here and on the side with some clean looking rubber grommets. We also have an adjustable graphics card support, which is a nice touch, and we also have a large cutout for the motherboard backplate. Speaking of the motherboard, we have some pre-installed standoffs, so make sure you check your motherboard if you need to remove or add some more. Aside from that, again, we have 7 reusable PCIe covers, and we have an included 140mm rear case fan, albeit non-RGB. Now, looking at the top side, we have the magnetic dust filter that has a convenient pull tab, and underneath that, we have the mounting points for case fans or radiators. Overall, this chassis supports up to 2 120mm or 2 140mm case fans here on top, and up to 280mm radiator. In front, it supports 3 120mm or 2 140mm case fans, and up to 360mm radiator. While the single rear mounting point supports either a 120mm or 140mm case fan or radiator. Now, here at the top side, we also have all the front input and output ports, including a small LED indicator, the power button, 2 USB 3.0 ports, one 3.5mm combo jack, the LED button, and the USB Type-C port. And lastly, turning it all over upside down, we have a small removable dust filter for the power supply and 4 case feet with a rubber base. Overall, as I pointed out earlier, this chassis checks all my boxes, including the front panel USB Type-C port, all the easy to remove panels and dust filters, the substantial space for cable management, and the adjustable graphics card support. Not to mention the overall chassis is pretty well built too. The only thing that I think is missing here that I have on my other chassis are mounting points for SSDs on top of the power supply shroud, some Velcro strap, and probably a hinge type side panel for quick and safer access to the internals. Other than that, and performance and benchmarks aside, this is one of the better options right now for a sub 5,000 pesos mid-tower chassis. And there you have it guys, thank you for watching. Huge thanks to DeepCool for sending this in. You can get this using the link below. And like I said earlier, this chassis is part of a complete DeepCool build and desk setup, so make sure to subscribe for the actual PC build and setup tour video. Thank you for watching and have a great day guys, you're awesome.